We're live.
It
happens like that. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of In Focus. That's the name. Did you guys know that?
In Focus.
In Focus with Bushnell. So, congratulations, Mike Heitzman. Last week when we came online, we asked for some names, and Mike, you're the lucky winner. So be sure to hit us up on social so we can get that prize package out to you. So
there was actually two winners.
The other one's an employee.
One of them's an employee.
So he's out.
He's not getting any.
Jeremy Scruggs.
He's out.
Watching.
Sorry, Jeremy. Can't do it in our office, so you're out, man. So I think we wanted to kick off to get a little bit of an overview of the Jurassic Classic. We kind of teed it up last week, talked a little bit about the match.
Yep.
Brian, you were there. You want to run us through how it was?
Yeah, we had 4 guys shooting the Jurassic Classic down in Copperville, Texas. Really, really bad rain the first day. Beautiful weather the second day. Congrats to Travis Overfelt, our engineer, for taking first place office honors. I took second. It's not as good as first.
What wins what in the little office pool? I'm
Nothing.
confused.
It's bragging rights for the entire 9-hour
Okay.
drive home. That's it.
For however long it takes you to get back to the match.
always 9 hours.
That's when you get the rub.
I don't know why.
And it's always 8 or 9 hours.
So the Jurassic Classic was awesome. Jordy Richardson was our match director. At the end of the match, he announced he was no longer match directing. He's taking a little break from the shooting world. We're sad to see him go. I'm sure we're going to see him again in the near future. We have a lot of respect for Jordy and really appreciate everything he's done for Bushnell. Robert Branly, the King. The King was there. He took second overall.
That's awesome. 4
points out of first. He was on our squad. He did really awesome. He's a great guy, always willing to help the next guy in line. He picked up a rifle on the prize table. It was his first prize table ever, and it was second overall. So he was just ecstatic at the win. So that was really awesome to be part of. So regarding the weather, I had these 15X binos that I tried to sell like 3 times, and Chad wouldn't let me. At the match, I had them on tripod the whole first day. It was raining cats and dogs. I've never seen it rain that bad except for Spear Point. Which we love Spear Point. Actually, Steve, thank you. We got you a little plaque in the mail for the ELR match. Shout out to Spear Point Ranch from Steve.
Yeah, very nice.
Other than Spear Point, I've only seen rain this bad at Jordy's match, the Jurassic Classic. So there was a point in the day where we stopped the match for like 90 minutes due to wind, lightning, rain. You just couldn't see anything, and it was kind of dangerous to stay on those connexes with lightning. So I left these on a tripod. I can't believe they didn't blow over, but when the match resumed, people were like scrounging for T-shirts, rags to wipe their scopes off with. No one could see anything through their scope because of the drastic temperature change, except for Bushnell. So not only were our scopes clear, Travis actually had a guy next to him who couldn't see through his vortex. He kept wiping it off. Fog kept coming back. And Travis going, hey, you can shoot mine. He didn't shoot it, of course, but he looked through it. I mean, he
looked through it. He
looked through it. That's one of the things I always talk about Bushnell is that it's happened to me at the Heat Stroke Open last year, where no one could see through their scopes. I could see through mine. Ken Lynn and I both had bushies on that line. But these sat in the pouring down rain. I don't know how fast the wind was because my Kestrel was in the rain. But the wind was blowing. These things got absolutely soaked and demolished. And when we went back out there, I obviously didn't have the caps on, but picked them up, looked through them. I could see 500-yard targets, crystal clear, and they were covered in rain. I mean, there was, the rain the EXO Barrier is working really well. And I could see right through it. So,
and you bring up something there in that little slip of yours. We get hit up all the time. Rain guard and EXO Barrier. Rain guard and EXO Barrier. So, Chad, this is your baby. Why don't you talk about exactly what EXO Barrier is? I mean, Rain guard was really good, but EXO Barrier is great. So, you want to give them a little overview of that and some of the other things you've done on the internals to make it stand up in a hurricane?
Yeah, sure. So, first, I'll address Rain Guard versus EXO Barrier. So, Rain Guard, that's historic Bushnell technology, and it's actually patented, and it's something that we have that other people are not able to achieve. So that's really cool. And what it actually does is it beats the water up on the lenses. So when we reformulated and came through with EXO Barrier, we basically made the angle even steeper. That water beads up. So it gets the water even taller off the lens, which allows you more space in between water droplets to see through.
So, and it's on there forever. I mean, you can't get rid of EXO Barrier. Right. It's not something you got to send back, reapply, worry about rubbing it off. I mean, it's on there. It's on there.
It's the last, when you make optics, there's a lot of coatings that go on the glass, but that's the last coating that we put on all the exterior glass surfaces on our binoculars and rifle scopes and other things. So it's molecularly bonded, just like the other coatings on the lenses. And so I like to say it's like Rain-X that doesn't rub off.
And if you haven't had a chance to play with Rain Guard or see EXO Barrier on our new optics, you go check out a couple of videos that we've shared on our channels. There's a really great one that we did. Wayne kind of took the read, the guy behind the camera, and actually dumped the water on the objective lens and swirl it, and it almost separates. I mean, it is crazy. It can't hard to explain it, but what it does and how it repels water, you just get a really good sense for just how strong that is.
Chad, what's that?
Hold on, let's finish up.
You're jumping ahead. We got to take shiny objects away from Brian. He grabs them and goes.
So the other stuff that's important when you're talking about taking your optics out in the real world is waterproofing. And so, historically, we and a lot of other people have just said, hey, something's waterproof or it's fog-proof. But what does that actually mean? And so we actually test everything to, it's an IPX7 standard, which means we submerge the optic for 1 meter deep, 30 minutes. And so if it can live submerged in the extra pressure of being submerged, it does just fine in the blowing wind and rain. So we try to over-test to what you would have in the world. So if they take a little dunk in the stream or they fall in a mud puddle or something like that, shouldn't be an issue.
Or you leave them outside of the Jurassic Classic. I expected these after hearing about the weather. When you came back, I expected these to be trashed, and so I'm pretty impressed that they held up.
They look almost new.
He spent the better part of yesterday cleaning them up, wiping them down. He was really, really working hard.
So we got a question here from William. Fog is the biggest thing. So EXO Barrier prevents against
external fog.
External fogging. So in that scenario, the temperature dropped really, really quickly. I don't know how far, but when that storm blew in, it was raining all morning, but all at once it just hit. Lightning started striking, the wind picked up, you couldn't see targets at 300 yards. So when the temperature drops that fast, the scopes fog up externally. But EXO Barrier prevents dust, debris, smudges, fingerprints, grease, mud, water. So it's kind of like a protective coating that stops everything. I mean, you can't take sandpaper to it, but it stops everything. So fogging is one of the big things that I see shooting PRS matches when you get your scope out of the truck first thing. And the atmosphere changes from hotel room to car to range. Those lenses, the exterior lenses, fog up really quickly. So this helps.
Cold morning, getting out of your truck, going in a hunt, sitting in the blind.
Same thing, hunting.
You can do that, get out of the motor vehicle and get it in. So we talked about it last week. We put EXO Barrier on everything in Prime Nitro Forge. So you can find it on pretty much everything.
Almost everything we make. I think you're getting close to running out of stuff that doesn't have it. So.
And that's a good point. So there's fog and there's internal fog. And so internal fog is fog that you can't rub off. So you see a lot of guys, they get out of the truck in the morning, they get their shirt out, not advised, but usually will stand up. But you'll rub the fog off the outside of your lens. The other kind is the fog that happens inside the binocular rifle scope. The fog you can't rub off, and that's a catastrophic failure.
Bad purge, leak somewhere.
So when we actually design them, they're all sealed and O-ring sealed.
That's the IPX7
and purged.
So the IPX7 keeps the internal fog away. The EXO Barrier keeps the external fog
away. So it works as a system.
Double protecting. Very cool. Very cool. You know what I like about these, and I've looked at them, but just the look and the grip and the molding that's come on these. That's probably been one of my favorite things. Is like when you hold these, you're sweaty, you're moving your hands, a lot of moisture on your hands, but they just feel right. And I know you've spent a lot of time just getting that feel right, so they just feel comfortable in the hand and that rubber armor. I mean, we talked about the protection on the inside and the outside, but you got a whole other layer of protection right there where they can fall off of a tripod in the high winds, and they'll be fine to pick them right back up.
And that ergonomic design is, that's pretty similar to what we have on the 8 and 10 by 42 forges that are out now. We just talk about these all the time because we have so many guys in the office that either shoot long range, shooting PRS, and these are the most comfortable way to spot for PRS, or they're out guys that are hunting that don't want to carry a spotting scope and a set of 10 by binoculars. They can carry these on a harness. You can kind of handhold them. They're a little bit shaky being 15 power, but then when you're ready to sit down in glass, you can snap them into our tripod adapter and just sit there in glass really comfortably. So,
I will tell you, if I was going to RO a match, range officer first stage, so you sit there at a stage all day, every single shooter comes through your stage and you call hits, misses, you keep time, you keep score. So At a PRS match, that's what an RO is. If I was going to RO stage all day and be looking through glass all day long, I would absolutely need that 15x bino. You get really bad eye fatigue if you're glassing all day and have a spotter versus a bino. So that bino has got a lot of places it works really well.
Yep.
Well, I think we got a special guest.
Yeah,
we got an
whose gun
empty
is
chair,
that?
and I don't know whose gun that is. We better call my glass or somebody to come in and find out whose it is.
So
Come on in, man.
Yep. This is Jeremy Gilliam. What's up, Jeremy?
Hey, Brian. How you
Jeremy,
doing?
good to have you, man.
Jeremy?
Jeremy, you want to
Yeah, I mean, it's right there on his jersey, Team Custom Armament. I mean,
Copper Custom Armament.
Copper Custom Armament. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the team for the people who might not be fully aware?
For the people not aware of our team, about 2 years ago, we started off as the first amateur team in the Precision Rifle Series, and since then, the team has been progressing steadily more towards the pro status. You know, the ultimate goal is for everybody that they want to be on, Team GA Precision or Team Masterpiece Arms. Right. So we're basically the half step brother below them. We're like the step brother team.
You're the A team.
We're the A team. Yeah, exactly, an A team. So
how many guys are on the team?
Currently, there's 6. We just added our 7th teammate, Justin Cottingham, this week for the 2019
I think
season.
he's watching.
Justin?
Yeah, we're just adding Justin Cottingham for the 2019 season, and the biggest thing that we had happen recently was 2 of our shooters attended the Bushnell Gap Grind. It was Jonathan Trice and Joe
T-Rice.
Burdick. Yeah, T-Rice.
Yeah, he was on our squad, actually.
Yeah, he was. We had a good fun banner in back every time we got up to a stage and they would name, Trice or Rice. He was always like, well, we can mess with him, so whoever shoots better, that's whose score I was. But it was always him, so there wasn't a chance. It was
He's a
me
lefty,
trying to take
too.
it. He is a lefty.
He's a lefty like
shot
me.
really, really well. Him
Better
as
than
amateur won high am.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, so that was nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, how was the year for you guys?
The year overall has been really good. We've tried to make it to the vast majority of the larger matches. Our guys have been spread all over the country. We've had great showings by Dan Hall and Joe Burdick at some of the one-day matches up and down the East Coast and the Southeastern region. Myself, I've shot some of the bigger 2-day matches. I love Alabama. I love the heat. I love, looking at the Mirage, and I love my XRS2 because it works fabulously with the Mirage. We talked about that earlier today. We discussed it quite a bit. So that's kind of my stomping grounds is the Southeast. We also have Jonathan Trice, who runs Aurora Sportsman's Club up in Chicagoland area, and then we've got Chris Soika, who works pretty much in the upper Midwest in Michigan.
Cool. So what's up next? Like, is there a big match coming up or next year? Is the year over?
Well, for the vast majority of us, the year is over, with the exception of one match. We all kind of got together. We have one teammate that's unable to make it, but the rest of us, so 6
Who's
of us. Chris Soika, he's actually got another training event scheduled for that same weekend, but 6 of us are all going down for the Core Fall Classic next weekend. So
nice.
Very cool.
The whole team is going to be represented. We're going to try to squad together. Ryan Castle, please. So get the team squatted together for one last match of the year, and then the next biggest thing after that is actually going to be the Bushnell, the Bushnell Elite Tactical Sniper Challenge in Blakely, Georgia in February. That's a big deal for us.
So that's a new venue for them because last year was in Carolinas.
Yep.
Tom Fuller and Brian Sykes are our team. They came in second last year.
Absolutely.
I think they're out for first place this year.
Yeah,
they had a great time. Like that was one of those matches that snuck up on both us and them. That's Joe Burdick's match.
That is Joe Burdick's match.
So Joe called and asked us to sponsor it, so we sponsored the first annual, and kind of Tom and Brian didn't know what to expect, and they had an absolute blast. They loved that match. They came in second. I think they spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to get first this year, so they're coming out for you. Whoever's shooting that match, beware. And they moved it to Blakely, so we got a new venue. Tom and Brian are coming back for first place, so it's going to be a good one. And Bushnell's title sponsor again. When's that?
That's a
February 22nd-ish?
Correct, yeah. It's like the 3rd week of February.
Nice. You want to tell us about this cool rig here on the table?
This is actually my Masterpiece Arms. This is my competition rifle. It was built by Phil Cashin and Al Oliver at Masterpiece Arms. It is a Curtis Custom Action and a Masterpiece Arms BA competition chassis with a West Texas Ordnance switch lug. So that gives me the opportunity to go from 6.5 Creedmoor in high wind situations, 6mm Creedmoor, or I can actually go with what we call it the John Sneed Special, 6.5 by 47.
Nice.
That's the all-around.
All-in-one rig. And how do you, you're telling me lunch, it's like lightning fast to change that barrel out.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a screw that is just below the front end of my optic, and I loosen up that one screw. I can unscrew the barrel directly out, screw in the next barrel. The head spacing is done in the barrel. And I'm ready to rock with the next caliber. Just a quick zero check and get right back at in the game.
Have you ever done that during a match? Have you ever changed it up during the course of a match?
I have not tried it during a match yet, but I have done it at practice. So I spent a whole long weekend with my son at K&M prior to the Gap Grind. We spent a whole weekend there, and I did do some quick barrel swaps between 6 Creedmoor to 6 Creedmoor, just to see what the change would be between the two barrels, and they were less than 0.1 mil.
That's awesome. That's impressive.
Difference. So with that little bit of a change, you could go stage to stage, have a squib, and just jump right back in the game.
So squib load, which I learned this last week at Gap Grind, there's either not enough powder or no powder. Pull the trigger, the primer goes off and sends the projectile that far-ish down the barrel. So we had a guy squib load one day one at Gap Grind. I don't know if I talked about this last week. Thank goodness Jim Gilliam was there, happened to see us hitting a rod with a hammer trying to get this bullet out, which doesn't work, by the way. Jim handed the guy, my amateur, a 224 Valkyrie to shoot so he could finish the match. That's awesome. Ammo and the rifle. So then jumped to the Jurassic Classic. One of the guys in our squad again, squib load. Luckily, another teammate, another guy on our squad was local, took him to his house and changed the barrel overnight, which is not an easy process.
That's not going to happen very often.
That's not an easy process.
Right.
In a garage after shooting all day in the rain.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is awesome. I've never seen one in person. That's really awesome that you can. I hope you never have a squib load and have to do that, but that's awesome. You can switch barrels like that. That's pretty cool. Where are you guys headed? What are you here for?
That was, you originally asked whose rifle it was. The reason the rifle was actually with me was my wife and I, my wife Rachel, who's actually in the background,
Hi, Rachel.
we're actually on our way down to Austin, Texas, and one of our team sponsors, Chamber Chillers, invited myself and my wife on a family hunt, is the nicest way to put it, but we're going to do some trophy hunting down in the foothills of Texas, and we're on our way down there.
Very nice.
What are you going to hunt?
I'm actually going to go for a black buck, and my wife wants to hunt an oryx.
Those are both really pretty animals.
Yeah,
That's
gorgeous, gorgeous
black
exotics.
bucks are gorgeous.
Yeah.
So you hunting with this rig?
That is the rig I'm using. As it sits right now with the 6mm.
6 millimeter.
Yep, I'm going to try the 6mm on the black buck, and then I actually, in my truck, I have the 6.5 Creedmoor specifically for the oryx since it's such a larger animal.
All right.
Nice.
I want to make sure I have a good hunt and that it's a good, clean kill, and the animal falls right in its place. So, black buck, small animal, small caliber.
Nice.
You running hand loads?
I am not actually.
What are you going to run?
I actually use Hornady factory ammunition. All my rifles are chambered for factory ammo, so I compete with factory ammo.
Cool.
Me too.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we definitely don't want you to go empty-handed down to Texas. So we actually have a set of our 10x42 forged binos to send you with. So.
Really?
Really?
I know. I was like, wow.
So
wow. I asked him what he needed on the way in. And he said binos.
Yeah.
So hopefully this will help improve your hunt.
So it's the little baby brothers to those.
There you go.
Yep, exactly.
All right.
they're the smaller version of the 15s.
So these are the perfect whitetail brush hunt type things, and those are the glassing for elk and basically
Nailed it.
And I think you're going to try to shoot a couple hogs. So Ben Bainter, our product manager for Night Optics and Thermals, threw in a. This is on loan.
Yes. So these are to keep.
Those are key.
So one of our new Bushnell Equinox night vision. So if you guys ever get that black buck on day one and you want to spend the rest of the time hunting hogs, that'll help out.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, man.
Thank
Yeah,
you
man.
very,
Well,
very much.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
Thanks for the tour. It's been a great day.
We'll have to see. Anybody have any questions for Jeremy while we have him here?
There's an XRS2 question in there. That'd be great for you to answer.
Let's do it. What is it?
Just got an XRS2 and we'll love to hear about the moving target hashes on the horizontal stadia and the G3 reticle.
Yep. So the G2 reticle was designed by George Gardner. Do you want to take this one, Jeremy?
Yeah, actually, as a matter of fact, it's kind of a joke.
We want to hear from Jeremy.
We thought Jeremy would do it. It's okay,
man.
No, actually, it actually all does go back to George Gardner and the fact that when I owned an XRS1, the original XRS, they had the same lines in the GM2 DMR, I think is what it was, or G2 DMR.
Yep.
The reticle. So I had it in the XRS. And I remember going to do the very first gap grind at K&M, and they had the 300-yard mover, and I'm learning how to shoot a mover. And the first thing somebody says is, "Oh, you have an XRS." There's a little tiny line at 1.2 mils, and if you look, it's the only up line, not a down line. As the target crosses into that line, pull the trigger. That's your lead. Trap the target. As soon as it crosses into the line, pull the trigger, and amazingly enough, it's a center punch every time. I mean, it's amazing. You can clean the stage, or in this case, a deer walking across a field at 300 yards.
A little bit of lead.
That line works as a great reference point.
Yeah, it's very quick. When we were shooting the movers, the people that had that ability on there was definitely a hit and miss ratio that was much better than some of the other people on the line. So it's amazing, some of those little things that you kind of take for granted when you're looking through a reticle, what's important, what's not. Again, that all comes down to you and what you're going to be using it for. But in a competition like that, where you're going to be shooting movers, picking out a reticle that has that option is pretty nice.
Absolutely.
Any other questions we
got a couple other ones. So Dean Tremblay from Bushnell Trigger Effect in Canada.
Yeah,
he had an awesome. Hey Dean, we had an awesome comment. Just used our new Nitro Optics on a Saskatchewan whitetail hunt. In blowing rain and snow, they never failed and were always clear. Harvested 2 giants on film with the optics.
Nice.
Amazing.
I don't know if it's on our Facebook or our Instagram. We actually posted some pictures. So, Dean, thank you very much for sending them. But there's one where the whole nitro is it looks like it's encased in ice. I mean, it looks like he literally dunked it in water, put it in the freezer. But it's just, that's what hunting in Canada is all about. So that's some great content. Congratulations on the hunt, and keep sending those photos. Those are awesome, man.
Yeah, so we got one that says, need a new scope with 30 mil tube, engage your nitro.
So that's going to end up being a personal preference. So the biggest difference that you'll have between Engage and Nitro is the exposed turrets. So 30 millimeter Engage has locking pop-up exposed turrets. The Nitro are cap turrets. So usually cap turrets are a little bit lighter and they're absolutely foolproof as far as not knocking them out of, not bumping them off of your adjustment while you're on a hunt.
So, Forge is 30 millimeter too also, right?
Yes, and if you want to step up to a larger magnification range, the Forge, those are also 30 millimeter exposed locking turrets with a 0 stop. So there's a lot of options in 30 millimeter on the hunt side. It just depends on what your preference is and kind of what you're looking for as far as how far you're going to be shooting or what reticle you want.
I think that's the best thing when you look across the Bushnell line that really separates us from our competitors is with so many products and so many entry points and so many different hobbies and what you're going to do with that optic, there is something that's going to be built to that specification or what you want. So if you're coming in and you're just purely a hunter, you just want something in second focal plane, quick acquisition, we've got it. You want to move all the way up because you might want to shoot some PRS, but you might want to also hunt with that same rifle, we've got that optic for you. So, and the same things on binos, laser rangefinders, spotters. I mean, there's something at every price point and entry level use case to get you started. So take a look at the website, and I bet you be happy that you did. And while you're on the website, be sure to check out this month going to October 31st, $200 off the Elite Tactical promotion. There are a couple of restrictions on there, but you definitely, if you've had your eye on an Elite Tactical scope and been going, man, I really want to pick up those XRS2s or a DMR2 Pro, get on there right now and check that out because that deal won't last long. October 31st is the last time you have to cash in on that $200 off.
Yep.
You guys see who tuned in?
Laura Elizabeth. Yeah. All hail the king. Thanks, Laura.
What's interesting is you bring that up, is I had to bring this in today. I'm scrolling through the Ballistic Magazine here. Put on shelves, what does it say, till December or forever, winter 2019. And as I'm scrolling through here, I run across a little bit of something, guys. What do you think about that?
Yeah,
the king. There he is. All hail Robert Branly. Big, nice, full-page ad. Congratulations again, Robert. I mean, this is a heck of an achievement, and we're super happy to have you on the team, and thanks for all the hard work you do at every match. And so, yeah, just a little bit of our congratulations to you. So, XRS2, Manor Stocks, everybody's on there. So, pick up your copy of Ballistic Magazine, and maybe if you see Robert at a match, he might sign you for it. He might charge you for that signature. I don't know what he's doing.
I have no idea. I didn't see anyone asking for signatures, but it was so rainy at the match.
Oh, yeah.
I know that every RO called him Your Majesty, the King, King Robert. A lot of them wanted him to shoot harder targets.
That makes sense to me.
So Robert is having the run of a lifetime here with King of 2 Mile, 11th place at the grind, 2nd place at Jurassic Classic.
He's hot.
He's hot right now. King is hot. Yep.
Any other questions or comments?
So we do have a question from David Roberts about the Equinox night vision.
Brantley said he'd be happy to sign anybody's Ballistic Magazine if you'd like that.
There you go. We're gonna have Wayne over here hook up David and Ben so they can chat about the night vision. Ben is our in-house expert. I was just supposed to hand him over here. I don't actually know. I know I use them, but I don't know much about them. So we're going to have Ben reach out to David and get your questions answered on the night vision. Maybe we can have Ben on next week and talk night vision.
Night vision. That'd be good. I know a lot of interest. That's probably a category in our product portfolio that not a lot of people know exists, and that Equinox is a great one.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, kind of speaking in that, if there are topics that you guys are interested in, just leave us a comment. This is week 2 of what is the name?
In Focus.
In Focus.
He's already forgotten. Week 2, and he's already in Focus.
So week 2 of In Focus. So we're still kind of gathering that list of things to talk about, and we'll have more guests on.
Yeah, so I think next week we'll have some more guests. We're working on getting a couple guests for next week. A little surprise visit from some royalty. But then, I mean, we're gonna roll with our own ideas unless you guys start kicking in some ideas.
Yeah, I mean, it is October. We are gearing up for hunt season, so we got some special guys from the hunt team.
We're all in our
going to be coming on. We all color coordinated today. It's fall. What can I say? And speaking of which, if you're out there this week, next couple weeks, we love the photos you guys keep posting us. So Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff you guys have been putting out, gals too. I mean, all the photos from in the field, success photos, equipment photos. We love it. So please keep tagging us in that stuff. We want to keep recirculating everything and all that great content that you're out there doing. So we appreciate all the tags and the call outs. So keep doing it, and we're going to keep resharing everything you guys post. And which leads me to one more deal before we sign off.
I got one more.
All right,
it's not a question. It's a praise. It says Rick looks like our setup. He loves our setup.
So I don't know if he's talking about the
he's talking about the gun. Or the flannel.
Or he's talking about our sweet whiskey barrels.
Chad and I went out on the internet and Craigslist and found 2 awesome whiskey barrels to make into a table. We found this piece of glass in the dumpster. Not really. We paid $10 for it.
Pretty much.
So we're trying to outfit. We hung some signs up. Wayne's been working on the room quite a bit. So I don't know if you're talking about the gun or the table, but I think the table's pretty awesome. The gun's obviously cooler. A couple more dollars. We didn't find the gun in the trash. So I think that's it. Let's see.
Something else?
Laura, please make sure Robert does bring his crown, because that would be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
If that's who we were talking about.
If that's who it was.
I'm sorry.
Somebody else. Yeah.
The other royalty.
The other royalty.
She called it a sitcom.
And then Edward Gonzalez, just want to say I picked up a Bushnell Engage 2.5 by 44 for my rifle. Absolutely love it. Amazing scope for an even better price. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Hey,
so
that's awesome.
And on that end, Robert, we would love for you to go out and post the review of that. And for anybody who's got any of our new products, we've got this really cool sweepstakes that we're not ready to announce yet. But basically, it involves you going out there, posting reviews. Hopefully, we'll have that capability on our website in the not so distant future. But in the meantime, go out there, post those reviews on all of our distributors and retailers' websites. The sweepstakes, the gist of it is send us that proof, and I think you might get entered into a big hunt next year.
Write a review, screenshot it. We'll get you the contact info to send it in.
We'll have all the details up online.
What are we hunting in Kansas?
So it's a secret.
All right, fair enough. Cool.
So unless we have anything else, we're going to go ahead and call that a wrap from episode 2 of In Focus. Jeremy, thank you very much for coming. It was great talking with you.
Yep.
Good luck on your hunt. Look forward to hearing back from you.
Safe travels.
Out, and
Thank you.
We'll see you the next time you're through.
Cool.
All right. Thanks everybody.
Thanks.